Okay, everybody, we have come to our very last video lecture of the term. I hope you found these informative. You've been able to follow along easily enough. I've had a really great time working with you all, both in our in-class portion of the semester and in our online portion of the semester. We're going to talk today about online media or digital media, what many people call multi-platform journalism. And so what I really want you to take away as we think about the current state of journalism in the era of digital media is all of the things that we have talked about over the course of the semester, all of the principles of journalism, all of the ways that this field serves an audience by giving them information that they can use to effectively make informed decisions about their lives. All of those things remain the same in the digital arena. It's just that now there are new tools available, new ways of accomplishing the same goals that we've had in journalism for years and years and years, right? The primary purpose of journalism to provide citizens with the information they need to be free and self-governing is still the same. And we need to ask ourselves the question of how do we do that effectively in a digital media environment and not get caught up in just showing off our tricks with our fancy bells and whistles. Okay, in this video, which is our last video lecture of the semester, we're going to be kind of bringing it all together here and looking at online journalism content, or what we these days call digital journalism content. And I want to get you to think about online journalism or digital media journalism beyond just bells and whistles of all the neat, cute tricks that we might be able to do with our mobile devices and computers and all the tools available at our disposal. We're still interested in using these tools to create quality journalism. That's the key. So throughout this semester, as we've talked about various kinds of journalism, photojournalism, broadcast journalism, feature writing, opinion writing, hard news, all of the different ways in which we present information to the public, we've talked about the consistency of what we mean by good journalism, right? And so solid journalism is still the source of good online news. And what makes for solid journalism? All the things that we've talked about, right? A commitment to accuracy, an objective approach, assuming, again, that we're applying a straight news standard, right? Again, if we're doing opinion work in digital journalism, then we wouldn't expect an objective approach. But and as far as straight news writing goes, accuracy, an objective approach, thorough reporting, right? Just because it's online and we can get it out quickly doesn't mean we want to sacrifice thorough reporting and rigorous fact-checking. Although it does happen in this day and age, in the rush to be first online, there are concerns that journalism is at risk of not having the same attention to factual detail and accuracy as it once was. So there are some challenges, but good journalism, solid journalism, is still going to involve thorough reporting. Quality presentation, right? Just because it's online doesn't mean we want to throw up whatever we have and just call it good enough. We still want to cultivate good sources, right? We want to get good information from people who know about the topic we're covering or who have good information about what it is we're trying to find out. And we always want to put the audience first, right? So we're not trying to show off our digital media skills just to look like we're tech gurus and in the know and all fancy with our software skills and that sort of thing. So I think what's important to remember as we talk about multi-platform journalism, what some people call multimedia journalism, digital media journalism, how news is delivered has changed, but the purpose of journalism has not. So the challenge for today's digital journalists is to understand how to tell what stories across which channels, right? So it's understanding how to best use any given medium available and at our disposal to tell stories that capitalize on the strength of those different kinds of media and then present it across the channels that are available to us. So let's start with online text, right, or text in a digital media environment. Information that requires a lot of explanation, depth, detail, or facts. Print has always been good at this. Text stories have always been good at covering stories that need this level of detail. Stories that have a literary quality to them, right? If we think about good feature stories, that there's some sort of narrative or literary quality that really can capitalize on good journalistic prose. Those stories lend themselves well to good digital text. And material that an audience might not be able to get in a print product, right? So if you're running, let's say, a news magazine or something like that, you can offer content on your website or on a mobile app that your audience can access at their convenience. That's in addition to the product that you're putting out, the content that you're putting out in your print product. Web text that's worth reading then is interesting, newsworthy content. This hasn't changed, right? Newspapers, magazines, they've always been interested in providing their readers with interesting, newsworthy content. We still want to aim for short paragraphs and tight writing. I'm sure many of you have had the experience where you come across a web page and you see one big block of text and your eyes immediately roll into the back of your head and you click away to some other link because you're not going to bother trying to read through that big block of online text. So web readers are very quick to move on to another website if they feel in any way overwhelmed by the text content that's there. You want a clear heading, right? So we want to make it very direct, very clear what's going on in a story when we present it in text online. We want to be able to provide links where appropriate. This is an opportunity that digital media affords us that we didn't have when we were restricted to only a print product. So now we can connect to other resources on the web or in the digital media environment by way of hyperlinks. Also providing your audience with an opportunity to comment creates more of an engaging, interactive experience with the text content that you're putting out there. And then likewise responding and engaging with your readers so that you develop a certain online relationship and rapport and an online personality for audiences that come to access your content there. Okay, what about web video? Video that adds value online or in a digital form are stories with action. So if you think about, say, dancing or sports or dramatic events, for example, natural disasters or fires or that sort of thing, these have a natural visual appeal to them, right? This is something that people will be interested to see. So stories with action or some sort of visual value to them, obviously, will lend themselves well to video. Stories that people just want to see. So there's a video online that I often show in class of a guy that has a paraplegic dog and how he has set up devices in his garage, a zip line type thing to exercise the dog, and how he takes him for walks, and a sort of homemade harness. And so those sorts of stories that just have, again, a natural visual appeal. Readers or viewers want to see this image of a man and his paraplegic dog. It's a very compelling, very emotionally captivating image. Also, stories that may need visual explanation, videos can work really well for this. I saw a really good video one time on Vox of how a space probe landed on a comet, and it walked the viewer through the various steps and presented this process visually to them. So video is very good at showing someone a visual explanation of something that's going on in a story. Now, digital media has also offered us new chances, new ways of incorporating graphics into our stories and into our content. Good graphics are relevant to the subject matter. You don't want to provide graphics, again, just to sort of show off your design skills or the fact that you know Java or HTML5 or whatever the program is, right? You want to make sure that the information you're providing in the graphics is relevant to the subject matter. To the extent that you can appropriately incorporate interactive graphics to your content, that can be a very effective way of engaging your audience so that they actually can interact with the graphic information, click on, say, points of a map to get information about geographically specific information. And then graphics clarify instead of clouding the story. So again, this all comes back to helping the reader have a better understanding by capitalizing on the strengths of whatever particular type of media it is that we're dealing with. Online media, digital media also offer us the opportunity to create audio-only stories, right? And if you're interested in audio, I encourage you to listen to National Public Radio if you don't already. They're a really wonderful outlet in terms of doing stories with sound. They do that better than anybody, I would say. Similarly to video, stories that have an emotional component that is best conveyed through someone's own words, that can be really a powerful use of audio as a storytelling device. Is there a unique sound component to the story, right? So is it, if it's a story about an orchestra, right, with music involved, we can imagine that there's going to be a powerful sound component there. Or a construction project where we might hear the noise of jackhammers or drills or hammers hammering. Those can add to the oral, right, A-U-R-A-L, the oral experience of the of people in the audience and the way they experience that story. We also have audio slideshows, which I'm sure you guys have seen before. And when we're bringing together still photos and audio, we want to think about that connection of sight and sound. So what's visually interesting, right? How are we going to bring these images and the audio component of our story together to overall tell, give something to the viewers, to the audience members that's really going to hit home with them. So again, what it really comes down to is the right mindset for the medium, right? Or having an understanding of how audio can best tell stories, how video can best tell stories, how graphic can best tell stories and communicate information. So before you use any type of media to report the news, ask yourself, why is this the best way to get the story across? Because any monkey can throw something up on the web, right? Anybody can just put stuff up there and show off their ability to use all the bells and whistles. But good journalists think content.